Jackson West is questioned about why he didn't open fire during a recent shootout, but Angela Lopez steps in to cover for him. Meanwhile, Lucy Chen is paired with a temporary training officer whose cautious approach is a stark contrast to Tim Bradford, who's still recovering after being shot. John Nolan continues to struggle with balancing his civilian instinct and how they influence his decisions as a police officer. As a consequence for wrecking their previous patrol car, Nolan and Talia Bishop are assigned an old, beat-up vehicle. Later, Chen discovers that Tim deliberately arranged for her to be placed with a more reserved TOO as a way to test her dedication. Bishop eventually manages to secure a new patrol car, which Nolan nearly wrecks during their first shift in it. The episode kicks off with Nolan and Talia in the middle of a high-speed pursuit. When the car finally stops, a woman in a wedding dress jumps out of the driver's seat and climbs onto the Hollywood sign, threatening to take her own life. Nolan climbs up after her and manages to talk her down by giving her a lottery ticket, something to give her hope for the future. But as they try to climb down, she slips and ends up hanging from the Hollywood sign by the train of her wedding dress. Meanwhile, Bradford is being discharged from the hospital and is required to leave in a wheelchair. Talia and Lopez show up and snap a photo with him while he's still in it. Talia warns Chen that she should consider ending her relationship with Nolan. Meanwhile, Nolan finds a bouquet of flowers left on his seat, and Sergeant Gray harshly criticizes him for the mistakes he's made and the damage he's caused. With Bradford still recovering, Chen is assigned to Officer Wrigley as her temporary training officer. Elsewhere, Lopez and West are called into the captain's office, where the captain questions West's failure to fire his weapon. Once again, Lopez steps in to cover for him. Chen chases after Wrigley as he carries the war bag and proudly mentions that she saved her training officer on her second day. Wrigley tells her that Bradford has been bragging about her, only to admit moments later that he made it up. He informs Chen that she'll be taking the lead that day. Wrigley then parks at a stop sign to write tickets and later drops Chen off at a diner for lunch while he heads home to eat. Bradford suddenly shows up, explaining that Wrigley has a habit of dumping rookies at that spot and refers to him as a slug. When a call comes in just 3 blocks away, Bradford tells Chen to run to it. She does and ends up tackling the suspect. Wrigley arrives just in time to see her already cuffing the man. Chen processes the arrest smoothly without any trouble. West and Lopez discuss their meeting with the captain, and Lopez tells West they're going to start taking all the high-risk calls. They respond to a report of a large man on PCP causing a disturbance at a church. When they arrive, they find the church in disarray, with the man nearly naked, yelling from the balcony, throwing things, and smashing objects. West attempts to calmly talk the man down and eventually gets him to agree to put on the handcuffs. The man walks out wearing only a towel, and it takes multiple officers to help process him. Meanwhile, Nolan and Bishop respond to a car fire, where a woman tells them her meth dealer ripped her off. She shows them she only got $10 worth of meth and then admits she stabbed someone. While taking her into custody, they find a knife on her and realize she's unsure whether the victim survived. She leads them to the location, where they find the victim, a kid, already dead. The woman struggles to follow directions during processing. Gray reviews everyone's arrest reports and singles out Nolan's, instructing him to rewrite it. Chen vents about her temporary TOO being too soft, while West mentions he's hoping for a quiet, uneventful day. Bishop notices Nolan and Chen flirting and gives them a look. Later, a woman suddenly runs into the street and is struck by Nolan and Bishop's patrol car. She appears to have been restrained and drugged and keeps calling out for someone named Emma. The woman is identified as Christine Holbeck, who had been reported missing a week earlier. While canvassing the area for leads, they get dispatched to a stolen vehicle call and find a man driving a scissor lift. Nolan parks in front of it and gets out to talk him down, but the man drives the lift straight into the shop, totaling Nolan's 3rd patrol car of the day. Lopez receives a high-risk warrant and brings West along to serve it. They make a quick stop at a gas station so West can use the restroom, where he unexpectedly comes face-to-face with the suspect named in the warrant. A fight breaks out, and West manages to subdue the man just before Lopez enters the scene. Meanwhile, the woman Christine had been calling out for is identified as Emma Vasquez, and all officers are ordered to work extra shifts and overtime. Nolan and Bishop are assigned an old patrol car that's barely holding together with parts practically falling off. Nolan and Bishop head to the hospital to interview Christine, the kidnapping victim. She shares what she remembers, including repeatedly hearing a voice say, "Wait day and night." When detectives find out, they question the victim. They're upset, but Bishop offers a lead. She believes the voice Christine heard came from an accessible pedestrian signal. It turns out there's only one in the search grid, so they follow up on it. They visit a nearby security guard who lives close to the location they suspect. While talking with him, Bishop spots a mask in his car. Nolan enters the house, but accidentally locks Talia out. After calling for backup, Chen hears the call and insists on responding, telling Wrigley she's going no matter what, even if he stays behind writing ticket. Inside the house, Nolan discovers a hidden door in a closet and is fired upon by the kidnapper. He finds Emma, and while trying to free her, gets knocked out by the suspect. Talia drives their car straight into the house to stop the kidnapper from shooting Nolan. Chen and Wrigley arrive, and Wrigley stays behind with Emma, while Chen and Nolan pursue the suspect into a nearby cemetery. Bishop intercepts the man and Nolan tackles. As Nolan begins to lose control, Bishop steps in and stops him from hitting the suspect further. Nolan has a conversation with the captain, who tells him he needs to keep his emotions in check. Lopez gives West some praise, saying he did well that day. While they're not exactly where they need to be yet, she says they're getting there. Meanwhile, Chen spots Bradford laughing with Wrigley and learns that Bradford had intentionally assigned her to Wrigley to test her dedication. He then tells her he'll be returning as her training officer the next day. Ray tells Nolan he did a good job, then hands him a huge stack of paperwork as a reward. Bishop stays behind to help him with it. Later, Nolan takes a moment to speak with Christine. The episode wraps up with Nolan nearly crashing yet another patrol car at a stop.